So the full brand new Day trailer is finally here. And as expected, the internet is already doing what it always does when Marvel drops anything with two shadows and one glowing object, completely losing its mind. And look, fair enough, there's a lot in here. Punisher, Bruce Banner, Scorpion finally remembering he exists, Cocoon Spider-Man, Black Eyes, ninjas, MJ's new boyfriend, comic book cover recreations, some mystery hooded figure that the internet is probably already trying to legally identify as Jean Grey, Mephisto, two goblins, and a tax consultant. So instead of doing the usual frame by frame, every plant in the background, explained, content farm routine, I want to go through this trailer like a normal sick person. What's actually cool, what actually matters, what feels promising, and which parts smell a little too much like Marvel trying to season the whole kitchen at once. And subscribe, because if I have to keep sorting actual movie ideas from trailer glitter, I would need support. The upside down Peter shot is a good start, not because it's some giant lore bomb, it isn't, but it immediately feels more playful, more specifically Spider-Man, more aware of the wider Spider-Man visual language. It's got a little Spider-Verse energy without screaming, look, reference. That's the right kind of fan service. Quick, clean, not needy. And then the letter to MJ comes back, which is actually one of the most important things in the whole trailer, because that's not just continuity, that's Peter still being stuck, still carrying around the end of No Way Home like a little emotional pipe bomb in his pocket. Good, he should be stuck. If this movie had started and Peter was all emotionally well adjusted and cracking jokes and starting fresh, I would have called the police. So right away, the trailer is doing one smart thing. It's telling you this movie still remembers the damage. That matters more than half the cameos. Spider-Man getting the key to the city is funny, not funny bad, it's funny interesting. Because on one hand, yeah, it makes sense. Spider-Man is publicly a hero. But on the other hand, Peter Parker's actual life is basically a smoking crater. So the contrast is kind of perfect. The city loves Spider-Man. Nobody knows Peter. That's great. That's exactly the kind of double life irony this character should live in. And there are also the obvious Daredevil born-again connection there with Sheila Rivera and all that New York politics overlap. And that's fine, but honestly, I care much less about timeline admin than I do about the image itself. Public symbol, private ghost. That's the good stuff. If the movie keeps that tension alive, great. If it turns into let's map out Fisk election continuity with charts, then I'm asleep already. Punisher showing up rules. Not because I need every Marvel movie to become a gritty man with a gun television, but because Frank Castle changes the temperature of a movie instantly. The second he appears, the whole thing feels a little less safe, a little more adult, a little more like New York has actual danger in it again. That's useful for Spider-Man. Spider-Man should not feel like he lives in a city where nothing smells bad and all conflict can be solved with clean quips and glowing blue impact effects. Frank makes the world uglier. That helps. Also, him getting webbed in the mouth before he can curse is exactly the kind of dumb little character beat I like. That's trailer sugar. Not everything needs to be mythology. Sometimes a guy almost says something filthy and gets silenced by a teen in spandex. This is one of those reveals where the new guy himself is not the point. The point is Peter having to stand there and eat that emotionally. That's why it works. If MJ has moved on, good. Let her move on. Peter chose this. That movie gets better if the choice keeps hurting itself of getting magically softened because the story starts feeling guilty. And the trailer seems to get that, which I appreciate. Peter being physically near MJ and Ned, maybe even living close by, is also beautifully miserable. That is exactly the kind of Spider-Man suffering I'm here for. Close enough to see the life he lost, not close enough to be a part of it. Perfect. Healthy? No. Dramatically useful? Very. Also, if they are adapting any version of the dreaded Paul energy from the comics, then honestly, evil. This is the big one. Forget half the trailer breakdown channels losing oxygen over side characters for a second. The most important reveal here is Peter waking up in a cocoon and apparently developing organic webbing. That changes the movie, because now it's not just Spider-Man fights some guys. Now it's what is happening to Peter's body. That is a much better hook. It gives the movie identity. It makes it stranger. It makes it feels a little less gross in a good way. Spider-Man body horror is underused, and honestly, the genre needs more of it. Enough with sky beams, enough with portals. Give me a superhero whose life is basically getting biologically weird and spiritually worse. And yes, the Toby organic webbing echo is obviously there, but more importantly, this feels like the first genuinely destabilizing thing in the trailer. Peter isn't just sad, he may be changing into something. That's where the movie gets its teeth. If Marvel fumbles that, I'm going to be very irritating about it. Bruce makes total sense if Peter goes to him because his body is mutating. That's clean and that tracks. And that kind of has a point. Bruce does not make sense if he is just there because Marvel has separation anxiety and cannot let one of these movies stand in a room by itself for 5 minutes. So I'm cautiously into this because there is actual thematic overlap there. Peter and Bruce are both characters whose bodies became permanent complications. That's interesting. There's something to talk about there beyond, hey, look, Ruffalo. Use Bruce like a warning, like a mirror, like a man who knows what it means when your body stops feeling like home. You do that, and great. Now the yellow hooded figure, the mind-controlling looking imagery, the Sadie Sink theories, this is where I need everybody to calm down a little. Could it be important? Sure. Could it be Jean Grey adjacent? Maybe. Could the internet be massively overcooking a trailer mystery because that's what trailer seasons turns people into? Obviously. So for now, I'm not interested in the theory Olympics. The more useful question is, what kind of movie needs a figure like this? If this character is tied into psychic horror, mutation, identity loss, control, all of that weird invasive stuff, then great. That supports the mood the trailer is building. If it's just mystery box glitter, then whatever. Until then, well, until the actual movie gives that person a dramatic purpose, I'm not making shrine content for a hood. Scorpion finally showing up properly is long overdue, and I actually like Boomerang and Tarantula being here too, because these are not event movie villains. These are Spider-Man has had a long week villains, and that's good. I do not need every threat in Spider-Man movie to feel like the collapse of existence. Sometimes I just want New York to feel full of strange idiots in costumes making Peter's day worse. That's the job. Boomerang, Tarantula, Scorpion, together they make the city feel lived in, comic booky, slightly ridiculous and active. Like Peter has actually been out there grinding through weird crime while the rest of his life rots. This is much more interesting to me than one giant faceless CGI apocalypse blob. Also, the comic book cover recreations tied to some of these shots are nice, elegant, quick. That's how you do it. Don't scream the reference. Just let it sit there looking cool. A little affection is charming. Too much and the movie starts feeling like it wants a sticker. Peter's eyes going fully black at the end of the trailer is the best image. That's the one. Because that's where the movie briefly stops feeling like the next Spider-Man installment and start feeling slightly wrong, slightly dangerous, slightly unstable. That is exactly what I want. Same with the hand stuff, assuming that's what all this is. Spider-Man fighting ninja cult weirdos in prisons and across rooftops? Yeah, I'm listening. That sounds like comic book nonsense in the correct flavor, not giant multiverse sludge, not world-ending cereal box mythology, just urban weirdness, swords, rooftops, chaos. The only risk is obvious, too much. Because the trailer is already juggling loneliness, mutation, romance damage, Punisher, Bruce, Scorpion, mystery figure, little villains, and now the hand ninjas too. That's either exciting variety or one of those Marvel situations where you realize halfway through the movie everybody bought a subplot and nobody bought discipline. So again, cool in theory, potentially messy in practice, but very Marvel. So for me, the biggest takeaway from this trailer is actually pretty simple. The best reveals are not the cameo reveals. They're the ones making Peter's life worse. The letter, the boyfriend, the cocoon, the black eyes. The fact that he seems to live near MJ and Ned like some sad little neighborhood ghost. The fact that Spider-Man is getting more public while Peter Parker is basically disappearing. Now that's the movie. Everything else, Punisher, Bruce, Scorpion, Boomerang, Tarantula, comic callbacks, mystery figures, all of that only works if it feeds back into that. If it does, this could be really good. And if it doesn't, then this becomes another Marvel buffet where the trailer gives you 10 interesting ingredients and the movie somehow still tastes like wallpaper. But right now, yeah, I like what I'm seeing. Not because the universe got bigger, but because Peter's life got weirder, sadder, and more unstable. And for Spider-Man, that usually means we're finally in the right, not so friendly neighborhood.